Hello and welcome to Week 6's Jing for CIS 274 XML programming. And this week we're going to take a look further into document type declarations or DTDs. I've got an example of an internal DTD and an external. So first let's look at this internal form. So a little bit of difference here is in the preamble here. We've got our typical thing we see here is the XML version, UTF-8, but for an internal declaration, we need to add standalone equal to yes. So the other key thing I did here with this internal DTD is before it was quite lengthy because each line had its own it's basically broken out in this part here. And what I've done is I've used an operator that basically tells the parser that this element line can appear one or more times in the document. So instead of having line 1, 2, 3, 4, we have this operator that it's going to help clean this up a little bit. So, and then for Richard Corey, I added an attribute of type that's basically going to classify which type of poem this is. And then I've also added another element of theme, which has an entity, an internal entity reference. That's basically going to be commentary. That's going to have a little note that's inserted into the element there. So we have that for Richard Corey. Then for Limerick, I've condensed it with the line, with the plus operator, so that'll tell us, tell the parser line's going to be in there one or more times. Let me fix this real quick. Comment. So in this one, instead of theme, we have a comment, which again is going to be another entity reference. So we have that for Limerick 1. And then Sonnet also has its own entity reference here. And of course, we have our actual XML here. So now that we've added these things, let's just take a quick look and see how it runs. So let's open with Firefox. And everything looks good. We got our type ID. It's a quatrain, 4 lines. We see the theme was added, which is good. Same thing for the commentary in Limerick. And then that. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is when using those entity references in the XML document, we use this ampersand and then the actual commentary and the semicolon. That's basically telling the parser we're inserting the text from commentary into this element here. So that's the internal. Let's look at the external here. So this more or less looks the same. I just use the simplified version. The difference here is that the standalone equals no. The doc type is poems, but we're referencing our poems.dtd file, which I have here. And this DTD file has basically all my element information. So if we launch this Firefox, everything looks good. So that was the example for using an external DTD. So that's what I have for this week. We covered internal and external DTDs. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.